Hi guys and welcome back. So in this lesson we're going to put our CSS classes that we saw in the last lesson to work with the Bootstrap framework. So as I mentioned in the previous lesson, Bootstrap was created by Twitter and it's a CSS framework that makes it easier to add web design and user interface elements to a HTML5 app, which is what we are creating with Ruby on Rails. Bootstrap has many benefits, but one of the best is the fact that using Bootstrap automatically makes our application's design responsive, meaning that it will look great across a range of devices such as mobile, tablet and desktop. So the first thing that we need to do is add Bootstrap to our application, and we can do this with the Bootstrap Sass gem. So let's take a look at that now. Let me jump into my code editor. So if you're not in your code editor, go ahead and jump in now. So these are the files that I had open from the last lesson. Just let me close them. Now let me go into my gem file, and where is that? It's been a while since we looked at the gem file. Here we go, all the way down the end, almost down the end, and our gem file. So whereabouts do we add the gem in? Well, let's add it in just under the Rails gem here. So let's say gem, single quotation marks, bootstrap. Careful not to use the autocomplete there because it will input bootstrap. So use bootstrap hyphen SASS. Close that line with a comma, then tab across a little bit, quotation marks, and we're using version 3.4.1. Now, by the time you're watching this lesson, there's every chance that the Bootstrap version may have moved on. It could be 3.5.1 or it could be 4, it could be anything. So don't worry about that. You can use this version right here, or if you want to use the most up-to-date version, go ahead and do that now. Just what we're using here now will guarantee that it works with the lessons that we've previously had and the lessons to come. So that's up to you. So let me save that. And now what I need to do is I need to go into my terminal. So across into my terminal, where is it? Here it is here. And we still have our web server running from a previous lesson. So let me kill that. There we go. And we want to run bundle install. So we saw this in previous lessons. So let's do that now. Bundle install. That's going to take a minute, so I'll be back to you in just a moment. Okay guys, so here we are back, and as you can see, I have a line here that says bundle complete, 24 gem file dependencies, 93 gems now installed. So we should see Bootstrap in here somewhere. There we go, look, fetching Bootstrap Sass 3.4.1. Perfect. Now usually when creating CSS files, Rails will create a separate CSS file for each controller. But for simplicity, we'll put all our CSS in one single file. Let's go ahead now and create that. So we're going to create a custom CSS file. So back in my code editor, I'm going to go to assets, here we go here, and I'm going to go into style sheets. So you can see there's already a couple of CSS files in here, one CSS and one SCSS. So I'm just going to right click here and I'm going to say new file, and I'm just going to say custom, and the extension is .scss. There we go. Hit enter on that, and there it is there, a new blank file. So the directory app asset style sheet is part of the asset pipeline. Any style sheet in this directory will automatically be included as part of the application.css file. And you'll also have noticed that our file extension is .scss, which tells us that it is a Sassy CSS file. This extension lets the asset pipeline know to process the file using Sass. What we now need to do is add 2 lines of code to our custom.scss file. And those 2 lines of code are at import space open quotation marks bootstrap hyphen sprockets semicolon, and next one is at import open quotation marks simply bootstrap. Again, close with a semicolon. Now, believe it or not, these 2 lines of code actually include the entire Bootstrap CSS framework. So that's great work from us. Let me save this file. And what we need to do now is restart our web server, and I've already closed it down. Restart our server to see our changes. So let me jump back here to terminal. So I did kill the server a few moments ago, so let me just say Rails server. Now guys, we're watching this live and on the fly, so when I refresh the page here, this page here which says welcome to Orbit, I have no idea whether these changes are going to kick in. Obviously I hope they are. So let me refresh this. Oh, error. What's the error? Okay, let me have a look. We have a syntax error, so let's take a look. Already see here, look. I've left out a T. Bootstrap. Is strap a word? I don't know. Look at it here. Where is it? There you go. Look, T. S-T-R-A-P. Let me save this again. Second time lucky. Oh, I'm nervous. Second time lucky. Wow. Okay. This is obviously not perfect, but it is a major step forward. So as you can see, the Bootstrap framework has been successfully installed or implemented, or whatever we want to say here. We've got a nice black border across the top, which has our menu, home, help, login. We've got our Jumbotron thing here, which says welcome to Orbit, and we've got create an account. Okay, we can build on this. This is excellent work, and we can build on this. So here I am now back in my custom.css file, or I should say SCSS file. So what I'm going to do now, guys, is pause this video, add in some code here, then we'll jump back into it. See you in a minute. Okay guys, here we are back. As you can see, I've added in some custom CSS. Now I'm not going to go through every line here. I'll leave that to you. So what you can do now is you can pause the video, fill it in, or do it at a later time, or get it from the GitHub page. But what we've done here is I've added in a comment which is ignored by our custom.scss file when it's run. So this is site-wide layout and pages. So you can see here on the body, I've added in some padding. Down here, the text area I've resized. And here what I've done is I've realigned text for center and our heading 1. So where we had welcome to Orbit, that was a H1. As we saw previously, it was a H1 tag. And I've realigned that to the center and added in a margin. So let me jump back into my web browser. Here we go. Let me refresh this. And again, as always, it would not be a Tony Staunton lesson if we did not have an error. So line 19. So let me jump in and have a look at that. And here we are, line 19. Look at that. 2 colons. Let's save again. Back to my web browser. There we go. Look at that. That looks much better. Very impressive. I have to say that is not bad for just a few short lessons. Well, maybe a few short lessons. I'll let you decide that. But that looks great. Okay, guys, let's leave it there for this lesson. In the next lesson, we'll add some CSS rules for the font types and a bit more of a layout, including our header and a logo. So I hope you found this lesson useful. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next.